I'm in a new city now. I'm in Barcelona, and I've got to say, I'm already enjoying it because one of the first things we did after we checked into our hotel, since we're staying in a hotel in this city, is we went up to the pool and we literally just sat by the pool. And in all honesty, I think that's exactly what I needed. I'm sorry, I'm untangling this right now. That's exactly what I needed because, wow, being in the sun, relaxing, it is such an incredible feeling. And I think when you travel to a bunch of cities, it can become a bit overwhelming because it almost feels like you're always on the move. You're always like moving, traveling, trying to get to the next place. And for me, I don't know about you, I like to just enjoy my time. Obviously, you want to see the city that you are in, but you also want to pace yourself because if you don't, then what was supposed to be a travel excursion, a vacation, ends up feeling more like work. And it's so interesting because I remember seeing a video maybe a few weeks ago, and it was saying how there's a difference between traveling and vacationing. Because traveling, you're trying to see things, you're trying to experience new things, do new things, meet people, versus when you're vacationing, you're usually in one spot, you're at the beach, and you're just relaxing. And when I think about my trip to Colombia, that was very much a vacation because I wasn't constantly moving from one city to the next. We stayed in one Airbnb the entire time, and we did different things in that city that we stayed in. Now, I am not mad about the fact that this is a different trip. Different types of travel call for different types of experiences. And I'm just happy that in this city, we're, at least the start of it, we're really chilling as opposed to feeling like we need to be on go, go, go mode because there's a limited amount of time. And in all honesty, I'm really happy that in the next leg of my trip, I'm going to be staying somewhere for 3 nights as opposed to 2 nights because it really gives me a day to pretty much chill out and not feel like, oh my God, if I don't do something right now, I only have one other night in the city. So like the next day I have to do something. And I just like that I don't have to do that. And the funny part about being in Barcelona is like, yeah, sure, I have one full day tomorrow, but I will be back again on the 19th for a night. So it's kind of like I can do some stuff then as well because I'm meeting up with my cousin and her wife to hang out for her birthday, for my cousin's birthday. But what I really wanted to talk about today is how if you are not decisive, then that points to a lack of faith in yourself and in the world that you are creating. Because if you really believed that it was possible for you to create the life that you truly want, you would decide on what you want that life to be. Now, I was in this limerence period. I don't know if that's the right word, but I was in this, what I call the indecisive zone for quite some time because when I think about what I really truly wanted, I didn't think it was truly possible. So I would kind of bounce between this and that and that and that, but I would never really fully decide on what I wanted in my life because I literally just didn't think I was worthy of it. 1, didn't think it was possible for me. 2, and 3, I think I had so many limiting beliefs around what I was capable of that I felt as though if I just chose different things all the time, at least I would feel like I was getting somewhere, even if I wasn't. And as I was sitting on the plane today, I was nearing my landing, right, into Barcelona, and I was writing in my journal, and I was writing about what I had decided on and what truly felt right to me. And in all honesty, what feels right to me is doing this. I've always enjoyed doing this, but like I said before, I didn't think I could really do it. I didn't think I was really worthy of it. And I also didn't really think that it could turn into something. Like I didn't, you know what? Not even that, scratch that. I don't think I really was ready for people to really see me for who I was. And I had a really interesting conversation with my sister and her girlfriend yesterday. And I was talking about how, like, for most of my life, I have hid myself. Like, I haven't really fully expressed to people who I was and what I truly desired in my life, because I was afraid of people truly seeing me for who I was and not liking it, right? But I was only afraid of that because I didn't really like myself. And I think so many of us feel that way. We hide parts of ourselves out of fear of judgment, but the harshest critic is ourselves. And it's like, when you can take a look in the mirror and realize, like, you're actually your own problem, that's when you can start to become your solution. And this trip has been so insightful to me because it's making me come to terms with the fact that I have been the one standing in my way. Yes, I knew this before, and yes, I've definitely been on the path to undoing a lot of those things that I think were holding me back, the mindsets, all of that. But in terms of really coming to a head with certain things I think I didn't want to really look at, this trip has made me do it. You know what I mean? Putting myself in a situation that's a bit uncomfortable for me, where I don't exactly know what's going to happen next, that is scary, okay? And if you don't fully trust yourself, you can go in a way that is not good, right? But I just have so much faith that everything is working out for me exactly how it's supposed to be. Even though I don't exactly know how it's working out for me, I'm feeling into it every day. I'm seeing the visions of it every day, right? So I know I'm going to be okay. I just haven't seen the 3D evidence of it quite yet. But I know that that is a facade, okay? Because a lot of times your 3D reality is going to take some time to catch up to whatever it is that you're envisioning in your mind, whatever it is that you're feeling into every day. And you have to be okay with that. You can't need the 3D reality to immediately change in order for you to change. It starts with you changing first. It starts with you making a decision first about the life that you desire to create and walking in it, regardless of what things look like. Because again, like I was saying in my last video, I just think it's so crazy how humans have created what we've created in this world. You know what I mean? Like, just the airplane itself is a masterful creation. At one point, a little over 100 years ago, people thought that could never happen. People can never fly. And we consistently, every single day, get on planes and go to far off lands like it's absolutely nothing. And every time I take off in a plane, I think it's crazy how this thing speeding down a runway, it can lift off into the air, and it weighs thousands of tons, mind you. And we just trust that we're going to get up in the air and that we're going to land. Do you know how much trust that takes? And we easily make the decision to book a flight. And most people don't think about it. And yet when it comes to building their dream lives, they hem and they haw and they instead do what's safe, what is a known path. And it's like, you put your trust and faith in so many things each day, and you can't put your trust and faith in yourself. You can't decide that you can do it too, just like the plane can. Like, it actually is a crazy concept. And when I think about what I was doing before, how I was moving before, and why I was unhappy, it was because I know that I was out of alignment. I was doing things because of how they looked, because of the quote unquote prestige that was attached to things. All right. And that is what I believe the corporate world is about. The finance world is about, the, sales world, like corporate sales world, like all of these careers that are known and aren't like a mystery to people. Those are the things that I find to be the most prestigious, because people know what to expect with them. But when you're doing something creative, like making videos on YouTube and learning how to become a bar instructor, there's not necessarily a path that makes sense there. And people kind of look at you sideways, like, what are you doing with your life? And it's like, at a certain point, you have to get to the point where you're like, I actually don't know and I don't care, but I know that I enjoy doing it. And for me, that's the only thing that matters, because that literally is the only thing that matters. If you enjoy what you're doing and you decide that that's the way you want to live your life, who gives a flying fadoodle what anybody else has to say about what you're doing with your life? You are the only one living your life. Like, please remember that. No one else has to wake up in your shoes every day other than you. So why on earth would you not decide to do something that you truly want to do instead of living a life that you fucking hate? Like, I hated when I was working corporate. I also don't think I really loved working retail either. I think it was something that I needed to do until it wasn't, because when you're out of alignment with a place, it naturally falls away. And that's pretty much what happened. And I think at first I was a bit in shock because of how it happened. But thinking about it now, I think it happened exactly the way that it needed to. And the people that I was working with, I just wasn't in alignment with. And I knew that. That's why I was planning my exit. But I think at that point in time, I still wasn't fully committed to making these videos, to doing exercise classes, becoming an exercise instructor, starting with bar, because I didn't know how it would work. And I was focusing way too much on the how instead of just walking in alignment with my soul and what it was telling me to do. I also think, obviously, I needed to deal with some more things before I could even get to this point right now. I had to go the corporate route first to see, oh yeah, that's definitely not for me. I tried it, got the t-shirt, it wasn't for me. And you know what? I think that's another big thing. Sometimes you need to rule things out so that you can get closer to exactly what it is that you should be doing, right? And you should actually be grateful when you find out that you don't like doing something, because it's like, oh, okay, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like this. So now you're narrowing in what it is that you actually want. And that is so incredibly valuable. And I think that's what ultimately helps me to make this decision to continue making these videos, to continue sharing my life, to talk, yap, and trust that everything is working out for me, because everything has always been working out for me, you know? Throughout all these trials and tribulations, I have continued to make videos. I have continued to be creative, to write in my journal, to make music here and there, to go to exercise classes that make me feel really good. Like, I continue to do those things. And when you can start to put together the breadcrumbs of your life that have always felt like they're in alignment, you can start to form a picture, a North Star of where you are really going in your life. And then you can ultimately decide with confidence, yes, this is what I'm doing. This is where I'm going. And obviously that may change over time, but if you have an overall direction that you want to go in, and you can start with one or two things, do those things every single day. Don't go crazy and make yourself feel like you have to be a superwoman, a superman, but like, do a little bit of it each day. And I think of these videos in this way, right? When I think about my identity, I'm a YouTuber. I'm a content creator. What does that mean? I create YouTube videos. I create content. I enjoy fitness. So what do? I take fitness classes. I'm learning how to become a bar instructor. These are things that are a part of this identity that I'm literally walking out. So it's not like I'm fooling myself. I'm not hoodwinking myself into believing that I'm something that I'm not, because I am doing it every single day. I'm walking in that identity. Now, in order for you to be really decisive about what it is that you're trying to accomplish in this life, what it is that you want to become in this life, you have to be real with yourself about whether or not you're actually putting in the actions to get there every single day. Because if you're saying that you want to be a world-renowned piano player, but you're not even practicing piano every single day, you're lying to yourself. If you're saying that you would love to be a lawyer, but you haven't taken any steps to study for the LSATs, and you haven't taken any steps to look into the law school you want to go to, or maybe even the type of law that you want to practice, how can you say that you're interested in law? You're not. So you have to be real with yourself, and you have to look at the decisions you make every single day and whether or not they are in alignment with what you say you want. And if they're not, why? Ask yourself the question, why am I saying that I want to do X, but I'm not doing Y, which would lead me to X? Only you know the answer to that. And when I think about me, I think, again, it's because there was a lack of confidence that was related to a lack of clarity. But I think clarity comes from confidence. And confidence comes from knowing your worth as a person and walking that out every single day in the most minute ways possible. It's keeping your promises to yourself and not allowing any little inconveniences to get in the way and make you believe, oh, actually, it's not for me. Because if it really was for you, it doesn't matter what comes up in your reality. You made the decision, you're walking in that direction. So you're going to somehow find a way around it and work with whatever comes in your way and use it to your advantage. And that's the thing with these videos, and that's the thing with being a YouTuber that I was coming to terms with on the plane. I always make these videos. Like, I've always been making these videos. Maybe I stopped for a time, but I've been making these videos since 2020. So for me to act like I don't love doing this and I would do it even if I wasn't getting paid to do it, I was lying to myself, okay? And again, I think part of this was that I didn't feel safe in my own body. I didn't feel safe being seen. And when you think about putting yourself out there online, specifically in my case, you have to be safe in your own body, because as more people start to watch you and gravitate towards you, if you don't feel safe, all right, it's going to come to a head where there's this massive audience watching you and you are like, oh my God, I feel like an imposter. What am I doing? And it's not that there's anything wrong with you. It's just that you need to regulate your nervous system. And that's exactly what I've been doing, especially for the past few months and weeks with sound baths at night and all of these different sound healing videos that I find on YouTube, because I find it's important and I need it. And I understand that we live in a world that is chaotic and that wants us to be chaotic. And you have to say, absolutely fucking not. I'm not doing that. And calm it down. And calming it down also means moving slower, moving more intentionally, and being okay with the fact that things do take time. If things were not to take time and were not to be built intentionally and just happen super quickly, you wouldn't be able to withstand for the long haul, okay? Because you wouldn't have been able to sustain the pressure, right? And pressure builds diamonds, makes diamonds. And that happens over time. It doesn't just happen overnight, okay? So, again, you have to make a decision and you have to trust that everything is working out for you and that you already have that identity right now. And when you realize that and you stop allowing yourself to lie to yourself, that's when everything in your life changes. And I'm already feeling that now. Nothing has, seemingly changed in the past day, but how I feel feels so much different. And I just know that I'm on the precipice of a huge breakthrough. And if you're seeing this video, it's likely that you are as well. So if you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe. And also, if you feel like you ever want to donate to me for whatever reason, I'm going to leave my Cashapp in the description. No pressure whatsoever, but I just kind of felt called to say that today. So that's what I'm doing. You guys deserve to have faith in yourself and to decide what it is exactly that you want to do. Stop dilly-dallying. and start deciding now what it is that you truly want. You deserve it. Love you. Bye.